It's one of the jewels in the MotoGP cracky. The rookies, first and second on the grid, with Luca Marini next to them on the front row. It's an all-2. Aleix Espargaro, can he wrestle the championship lead away from Quartararo? He got TM.
Very, very shortly here, Mugello, as the grid clears. 26 riders in qualifying yesterday. Will it be a shock result here today at the end of the 8th round? The top speed, it was here 1 year ago in FP3, where Brad Binder on the factory KTM stream early on. Circuit winners, Ducati were the 2 winners previously before Fabio Quartararo out in force. Can Pecco Bagnaia win here in Mugello to fire some much needed first time in 26 years without Valentino Rossi out on circuit? This is famous, his iconic, legendary number 46 was officially retired in a special ceremony. Italian Enea Bastianini has his work cut out coming from the head of that 4th row. It would be super, super special. It's one thing to win a race in the MotoGP World Championship. It's a whole no bigger incentive, no bigger motivation for the likes of Poleman. Can he finally find a way to the top step of the podium in MotoGP? Trying the grid in the Premier Class since the Qatar Grand Prix. Jorge Lorenzo on his MotoGP day.
Then on the front row of the grid, the 3 riders on the front row just have 39 moto.
It's a scary Mugello on the top of Marco Bezzecchi's one-off Grand Prix of Italy in MotoGP. Is go! Great launch off the line by as well. He gets a bit of a head shake as they run down towards San Donato. Di Gianantonio there in 3rd place. It looks like
he's got wide into turn 1. They were really struggling to get that stopped. I think Di Gianantonio has emerged still ahead. But he's got himself ahead of Bagnaia. He's got himself ahead of Zarco. They're battling away for 4th position at the moment.
Casanova and Savelli. This is exactly what Aleix Espargaro said he was going to do yesterday, last night in the mini.
With Johan Zarco and Taka Nakagami as well. Brad Binder's also made a brilliant start on the KTM. He started 16th. He's up to P9.
Oh, yeah. It's a VR46 Ducati 1-2 in Mugello. Can you believe it? A circuit which in the business early on here in Mugello. Luca Marini, it looks like it will do. He will come out of the final quarter.
So let the slipstreaming commence then. Bezzecchi doesn't need it, and he goes straight past his teammates. Brad Binder goes to the inside of Bagnaia. Bagnaia still back in 8th. Binder, though, up into 7th.
Sunday, man. He's delivering again on the most important day of the weekend, isn't he? The South African. His ending start for Binder.
Quartararo's back past Aleix Espargaro somewhere on this 2nd lap. So Fabio Quartararo, can Quartararo pick these riders off and pull off an unlikely upset for Yamaha? He's back
over the line at the end of the 1st lap in 12th place. Here comes Pecco Bagnaia trying to way through, finding the Grazzini man.
Quartararo is now past Fabio Di Gianantonio, so the world champion is up to 3rd. Bagnaia not make it easy, but it's still a VR46 1-2. Bezzecchi, who of course got the lead. Fangro, but for how long?
Alien territory this from Marco Bezzecchi. He's led and won in Moto. Gianantonio on the brakes into San Donato. Nothing Quartararo can do about the top speed of that year-old.
Into 4th then. He'll get the run here. He's going to try and force it to the inside, showing the relative lack of experience.
Sorry, Lewis, you got to an Aleix Espargaro. Real good fight this. Ferocious stuff between Fabio and Fastpex with Pecco Bagnaia. Everybody identified him as a real big threat if he got a good start. At the moment, aren't they? Perfect wingmen together. Quartararo on the last lap was the quickest mile on circuit with a 140.
He's made good progress. He's up 7 spots now into 14th, but Joan Mir, who started in 17th, he's gone.
I think on a Sunday, it's not happening. What can these men at the front of this race then now do? It's the bike to be on, isn't it, in MotoGP? It's won 7 of the last 13 Grand Prix. 4 laps.
So Bagnaia now gets past Fabio Di Gianantonio. You don't imagine Di Gianantonio will make like this in many ways, the lead challenger for the factory Ducati team, certainly in the World Championship. So you wouldn't expect that he's up front. Bezzecchi continues to lead Marini. Quartararo at the moment looking pretty racy behind.
6940, the only man currently circulating this 5.2 kilometre circuit in the 146 is world title. The things he's able to do on that factory Yamaha, nobody else on planet Earth right now. It's Fabio Quartararo versus Ducati right now at the front of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, position. Just try and get himself to the front of the field as soon as he can. Put some of these bikes who we don't expect, like Bastianini and Bagnaia, and just get out front and go. Try and build up an advantage.
The top Yamaha, Quartararo P2. The next best Yamaha, P22. Tension is the pace. That little bit too hot. Luca Marini using all the power of that GP track. This is proper elbows out, isn't it, from Fabio Quartararo? He's getting everything he can behind Marco Bezzecchi. It's giving the young Italian at the front of this Grand Prix, who hasn't put a foot wrong so far.
Fabio Quartararo is doing a Herculean job here to keep his head above water. In 6th, so the Aprilia rider isn't making quite as rapid progress. Further back, we've got Zarco.
Sector 3. Well, Pol Espargaro just adding to more misery for Repsol Honda. To have major surgery, a fourth major operation on that damaged humerus bone. And now HRC, as Pecco Bagnaia really starts to hone in on Luca Marini directly ahead of him. These two, he's swamped. He's getting mullered here in terms of top speed. Bagnaia comes through on Marini and Quattro desperately won to get on par with Marini and Bagnaia ahead of him on the fast Ducatis. But Ducatis is Aleix Espargaro. What can he do?
We now have 5 Ducatis in the top 6. Aleix Espargaro, so he has now got past Brad Binder, so the beast who he expected to have pretty decent race pace in this.
Faster though on worn tyres, isn't he, in MotoGP, so we won't discount him just yet. Jorge Martin now, and a bit further down the field, Jorge Martin in 15th place right now has just set a fighting for a solitary point further down the field.
So just caught a glimpse of an Enea Bastianini there. He's now up by the first lap. Marc Marquez one up from his starting position of 11th up into 10th, but Miguel Oliveira is outside the points.
Poor old Pol Espargaro, the 3rd-year-old Spaniard, that now extends his record to just 20 his home Grand Prix. Bastianini finds a way up the inside of Johan Zarco, but he runs it in a little, was there into that first chicane, but coming through was the Aprilia man then. Now he...
Fabio Di Giannantonio slightly there, you can see the visible gap. Aleix Espargaro, we're going to now see what kind of pace he does. Bagnaia is now able to get to the front of this group. He may be able to stretch this out.
Yeah, you do wonder, big fears. He felt like if he was fighting with the Ducatis at the front, like the likes of the Giannantonio, resist so much and be as aggressive against Pecco Bagnaia, with him having such high and so far so good at Ford Ducati, because they've got the top 2 so far with Bezzecchi keeping that factory Yamaha in a podium place, given the top speed deficit, riding out. Pecco Bagnaia's got to be careful, he doesn't want to get sucked in too hot into Bezzecchi's slipstream and running wide.
It's Bezzecchi good on the brakes into San Donato. There was no chance there of Bagnaia being able to draw alongside on that last lap, so the Aprilia man is starting to grow into this group. It's Mir who's gone down.
He's gone down the first corner at San Donato, and now it's his 3rd DNF in Grand Prix, down in 9th in the World Championship. More damage done then to Mir's type general. Alex Rins at the moment is only down in 13th place. He's 5 seconds nearly off.
Aprilia, that looks like Savadori who's pulling off. He pitted early on in this Grand Prix, and Savadori staying, dropping down our timing screens as well. So if we lost both Suzukis, we have Rins has crashed out too.
Well, what a treat in Le Mans, and in quick succession. Well, the same lap, turn 1 cost Mir as Pecco Bagnaia Yamaha. He runs Marini out a little bit wide. He desperately clings on to that final place on the podium race. If he did get to the front to make a breakaway here, the Ducati fans there, the Red Army, they're loving.
Quartararo is up with. He just cannot break away from Luca Marini at the front of this race, and that, of course, has been so good recently. Ever since Jerez, he's been challenging for victory, of course, won. Becky sticking with him at the moment. It's important for Quartararo as well to try and stay as close to this top 2 as possible.
Ducati GP22 snaking and slipping around underneath Pecco Bagnaia with the extra slip. Anxious faces then looking on, because Pecco Bagnaia in Italy recently 5. He led early on here in Mugello last year when he crashed. He was leading in Misano. Last stop to really work hard for it, did he, on the Adriatic coast? But what could Pecco Bagnaia do? Can he right the wrongs of Le Mans?
And he's now right on the back virtually of the battle between Quartararo and Luca Marini. Quartararo and Marini. Johan Zarco's also got good pace. He's leading that second group now.
Into the phase of the race, the sort of final third, where he's normally exceptionally strong, but has he given himself this Grand Prix? Here's that further confirmation then. Marc Marquez's tweet yesterday, having sometime next week. He flies out to the States on Tuesday for further consultations with some world-renowned special meditation. Back at the front end of this Grand Prix. There is Bastianini. What can he do about it? He's up on the brakes. He's done a bit wide there. Got to be careful here. Turned 15 twice already this weekend.
And when you've got Brad Binder right on your tail as well, Brad Binder won't need any encouragement to have a go, even if that keeps it made straight, although they've had to essentially find a whole new base setting with that new aero on the bike. But Brad Binder, and a good day's work for them.
Put it to Quartararo again and his crew chief Diego Ghiberlini, because all weekend, quite strong point of the Yamaha is that a lot of understeer through some of the chicanes. You don't need understeer to Yamaha, because there he's in 3rd place. He's closing in now on Marco Bezzecchi, sweeping through Arabia to Scarperia, up into 2nd place. What a 20 points this would be for Fabio Bott.
He must be thinking his way around this racetrack, thinking, well, if I make a move here, I need to then pull out of who, as mentioned, was really closing in on the leaders. He will be close in attention as well. The right track, the beast is far from done yet.
Will he be kicking himself, though, for a poor qualifying yesterday, catching the slipstream, but he's so good on the brakes. Into San Donato. Whoa, that's 19 somehow, after that real close instant there with Bezzecchi and Marini. Quattro still...
Because Pecco Bagnaia's lead is now up over 1 second. It was 9/10 of a second as they went. So a crucial lap now for Quartararo. Through these fast parts of the lap, we've seen how good he is through the bit, because he will once again be exposed on that 1.1 kilometre main straight. We're just past half distance.
The Ducati's ahead of him. He can't find a way through in the the slipstream and then outbrake them going into San Donato. Marc Marquez and Taka Nakagami, not the battle that Marc Marquez is here for. That's one of the reasons we're not here to fight for top sixes like he has been all season long. He thinks that there's still more world to side. The two Mini VR46 Ducati teammates. It's going to be Advantage Bezzecchi. He'll have the clip in the rear tyre of Fabio Quartararo. Great battle this then, raging behind Pecco Bagnaia. He's still in third. Then Marini, Aleix Spargaro, Zarco and Bastianini. Bastianini now is up in
for much more than just a podium position. This is trying to stay. Bastianini way out wide there. That's going to leave him. It is absolutely exceptional. On the last lap, he pulled 3/10 back on Pecco Bagnaia. He overtake down the main straight. Once again, let's see if Quartararo can pull some time back on Bagnaia. The lead just
to that sixth place. So what can Bastianini do then now, as he'll pick up some slipstream behind the himself and Marco Bezzecchi to avoid the risky moves from the Italians behind him going into the first. The pit lane entrance there on the factory Ducati that will lead at the end of lap 13. His Advantage one from the two Ducatis behind him. I think he has. There's no way through from Bastianini. There's nothing wrong with the top.
In MotoGP history, Jorge Martin, 363.6 kilometres an hour. I agree. We've got yellow flags out in sector 2. Just ahead of them, it's Bastianini. Well, it's one of the
It's the beast. It's another big World Championship points here. A crash at turn 4 for Enea again, losing the front and going into turn number 4. Badly damaged. That's the third crash of the round, and another blow for his championship aspirations. Bastianini down. Big
in second place. Aleix Spargaro, as you can see on screen, he'd be 11 points off the lead. He's now got past Luca. Not able to fully gap this battle, is he, at the moment, but he's just about far enough up ahead. And Ching Bagnaia, it's essentially in that fourth sector where Quartararo is losing all of his time. He's able to close every.
Pick up here what's happening on the replay. This was Aleix Spargaro having a move up the inside of Luca Marini going in. Spargaro is going to make it 4 consecutive podiums. That trend, that shocking trend, continues then for Bastianini. He won the DNF at the next Grand Prix here in Mugello. He's got the speed, he's got the rate of Quartararo as the MotoGP World Champion. Quartararo at the moment is doing an outstanding job. Spargaro finally through then on Aleix, on Luca Marini. Pecco Bagnaia still holding that delirium.
Yeah, we'll see what happens through this third sector where Fabio Quartararo has generally been strong. Quartararo to lose a lot of that advantage that he's just clawed back in this fourth sector once again. We're looking at this is just his 8th Premier Class start. He's not going to give this up easily. Quartararo then on that. Luca Marini tries to defend from Johan Zarco. This is the battle for 5th.
Yeah, this has been switched over to the latest spec factory, the Ducati GP22. Pecco Bagnaia shield kind of broken somewhat last time out in Le Mans when he did crack under the pressure. Simon Crayford with some observations.
Just wanted to, I always watch the rookies, and Darren Pinder is equal to Vinales, that around there, Marquez.
Pretty as well, he's right on the case of Frankie Morbidelli, who's having another humbling experience at the moment. Nowhere near again the pace of his teammate Quartararo, who's there in second place. So far, it's been a no-fear ride for Bezzecchi. This would be a memorable result if he could complete the Nato. Zarco finally finds a way through, then back on Luca Marini. That's the battle for
John, the South African. He's way and far away of any other KTM. He's on the job from Brad Binder. He started 16th on the grid, of course, made up most of those positions.
One-man bands in MotoGP right now, aren't they? Fabio Quartararo, clearly the only rider capable of running Austrian factory, no question about that. Miguel Oliveira may even be squeezed out of the factory team in 25. Then surely not. He's going to make it 4 consecutive third-place finishes here in for Aprilia in Mugello, their home Grand Prix in 22 years. Jamie McWilliams, though, is a completely different story. What's going through the mind, though, of that young man as well?
Spargaro, if he can hold them off here, he should have third place under control. If he can get into his last lap around was 48.0. Of course, he was busy overtaking Marco Bezzecchi. He's now got a challenge from Aleix Spargaro to close that down because Quartararo is setting good lap times himself. He is not letting him have this under control yet.
I was seeing another Jerez here. You remember when Aleix Spargaro was sat and pressure on that Aprilia, but once he was able to get through on Miller and Marquez, he just streaked away from him. And now Bezzecchi with a bit of clear track in front of him. Aleix Spargaro trying to use his speed.
Bagnaia in the second sector. He's pulled a 10th back, so it's under a second. This is the part of the lap where Fabio Quartararo can sniff a potentially unlikely victory as he chases down Pecco Bagnaia. 5 laps to go as they cross the line now, and he can see the 63 up ahead of him.
Yeah, Spargaro looks like he may well have broken Marco Bezzecchi's resolve. The stubborn resolve. Bezzecchi worried to take a career best 4th place from a career first front row start in the That's slightly less than Jorge Martin, of course, who would have picked up some big slipstream when he was mid-packed. Will that be crucial and decisive for him in these latter stages of this Italian Grand Prix? Out 3/10 already on Quartararo in the first two splits on this lap.
Yeah, so to the second to Pecco Bagnaia in those parts of the racetrack. That just gives you an idea of what so dear last time out in Le Mans when the pressure came on from an Bastianini. Bagnaia closing stages of the race, but second place at the moment will represent a good day's work for Fabio Quartararo at the moment.
Carola Bagnaia there, the sister of Pecco Bagnaia, who does all of his media work. Her sibling here potentially on course for a famous home victory. We said an Italian Bagnaia is just what 3.5 laps away from a memorable victory here in front of his home crowd. Sure time that the Ducati can gain him down that start-finish straight sees Quartararo slip nearly 1.5
at the moment for fourth place. We've got just 3.5 laps to go of this Grand Prix. It's got Johan Sol, Marini just behind them in sixth, and they've got company coming soon in the shape of Brad Binder, who did a 1-4 battle, but Brad Binder on the KTM, who always saves his best for Sunday, could be zeroing in on a top.
Better man slightly on that factory Yamaha. In fact, he's recovered half a second in miles down this long start-finish straight. You can see Pecco Bagnaia there using the Ducati. 3 laps to go here in Mugello then. What, just over 15 kilometres between Pecco Grand Prix for the factory Ducati team. Well, it's in his hands now, isn't it?
Best finish in the MotoGP class. He got his first points last time around when he finished 13th in Le Mans, straighting for Aprilia. Maverick Vinales just did a 1:47.5. He's running in 12th at the moment.
Maverick Vinales can qualify. We've seen it throughout this season so far. In terms of race pace, Maverick finds himself far too much to do on a Sunday afternoon. As this man, before of course with Danilo Petrucci and Andrea Dovizioso and Jorge Lorenzo, there'll be a big party in Borgo Panigale tonight. That will go on to the early hours tomorrow morning from this Mugello circuit. Over the line then to start the penultimate lap of this Italian Grand Prix.
It's just yet. You can see on the left-hand side of your screen, the gap is back down to 1/10 of a second. Marco Bezzecchi just did a 1:40. He's quicker than the 3 riders ahead of him at this stage of the race, just 3.2 seconds off the lead. Maybe Marco
6 Academy, but this is his first time, we remind you, around this really tough front row. And Lace Espargaro looks like he's really swung on that factory Aprilia in the first 2 seconds for the final time. And it's going to be for the penultimate time. Bagnaia, what's his advantage still to make Pecco Bagnaia crack? It hasn't happened this time around so far. Bagnaia has resisted Grand Prix weekend. They're going to be like gold for Quartararo. Brilliant job by him, and it wouldn't.
Half a second already over the course of this lap on Marco Bezzecchi, riding on board on left brakes though and holds on to 4th place. We're on the final lap though with Pecco Bagnaia. Quartararo with approved too much at the moment. We're on the final lap.
Well, this man's mentor, Valentin Pecco Bagnaia, Lace Espargaro, looks like crucially he will take that 4th consecutive third place. Top 4 here. Still a top ride by Bezzecchi was to take 5th place here. Pecco Bagnaia so far on home soil. His home fans, the Ducatisti, they're going to be going ballistic very much.
Yeah, he looks pretty safe from here. He's closest that he's been for a while, Quartararo, but there are no real overtakings in these final few corners because Brad Binder is all over the back of Luca Marini. You can see them in the back.
Pecco Bagnaia, he's been brilliant here in Mugello. He is the master of Mugello in 2022. He takes a famous home victory. Zarco does just hold up Marco Bezzecchi for 4th place. Marini 6th, Binder sold Ducati celebrations here in Mugello.
We've got Marc Marquez running on the top 10. We've got any shows Di Gianantonio running in 11th place. I'd imagine, being based on the pace that Maverick Vinales showed in the video finish, just confirmed on time screens, is in progress between Digia and Vinales. But out of the front, free, but he picked his way through the field. He got to the front of the field before Quartararo could pick from the other Ducatis. And a second victory of the season for Pecco Bagnaia. This is the start of arm fixed and hopefully come back stronger in the future. Marc Marquez.
Fabio was better than me on the overtakes and it was too late for me. So I take the podium, I'm very happy, but today I was aiming for more.
In France is Mom's Day, so I want to wish a good one to my mom and see you tonight.
In any case, I'm very happy to have won this race at home in front of our fans. Is really great.
Hola, this is Alex Espargaro, and if you like this video, hit like, subscribe and wait for more. Bye!